Well, let's talk about the challenge you've got then this weekend. Milton Keynes, a game I know the fans really enjoy, and I think over recent seasons the players have really enjoyed as well.
Yeah, it's a game that we've always seemed to have done well in. We've got a great rivalry with Milton Keynes. The fans always turn out in abundance, so we'll hope we get a good performance and good result for them, because it is a big game for them.
Yeah, they tend to be good matches because MK are a club with a similar outlook to yourselves in terms of how they play their football and bringing through the young players as well.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of both clubs, in terms of philosophies, are very similar. I think where they've done slightly better than us in bringing their own young players through, and we've done better at bringing younger players through from a lower level. But that's something that we're working on hard to get our own players through, and there's many examples they've got of sold them on and made a lot of money. So you have to give them credit for the way they go about things. Fantastic stadium. It's got to be one of the best stadiums in the country, and be a good atmosphere. We're looking forward to going there.
Yeah, and they've managed to add to their team this season. They've had a good year so far, and they've managed to add a few goals, which has made a real difference.
Well, I think the big difference from this season is that's exactly that, and they seem a lot more resilient this season. I think they've got a belief that they can go all the way, but they'll also be fearful of playing Peterborough because we've got a good record against them, and it's a game we always look forward to. We'll pay them all the respect they're due. Won't fear them, but pay them respect. And we'll go there and we'll try and put in a really positive performance and try and get the win.
Yeah, Carl Robinson, one of the longest serving managers in the Football League. Do you think he's learnt good lessons from previous seasons? Do you think he really knows this league now?
I think he's been there for a while now, and they've always seemed to be there or thereabouts without actually doing anything in terms of getting the promotion. But listen, the league doesn't change too much year in, year out. And I'm sure he has learnt things from previous seasons. I think the one thing that they have learnt is they've possibly never had enough goals, but this season they've had, obviously Phoebe went and did well, they've got Greg, they've added Devante Cole, Clark Harris as well for a short period. They've got quite a few strikers, and I think that's where they've definitely added goals to their all-round performances.
Can you take any lessons from Tuesday night into Saturday's game?
Well, it's a different game, so against a different team, obviously, that will play a different formation. Yeah, the one thing I think we've got to take into Saturday from Tuesday, we've got a bit more belief that we're going to get something from the game. That was something I felt missing from our performance against Bristol. We wanted to go there and make sure we started the game well, frustrate them to a degree, but we knew that we'd have opportunities to get control of the game through our spare centre-halves, and I felt we didn't do that well enough, especially the early part of the game. So, yeah, there's always things to learn from each and every game. The one thing for me that's we've got to go there with belief. Perhaps the fact that we've always seemed to get decent performances against Milton Keynes means that we will have that belief anyway. But I'll make sure that I'll be installing that into the players from today and make sure we put on a really positive performance.
Yeah, because psychologically you've taken that step with the teams in and around you over the past month or so. You've done well against them, so it's just a case of taking that next step.
Well, possibly in the bigger games. I mean, you look at the games we've got left. You've got Saturday away at Milton Keynes, Preston we've got away, Sheffield United we've got away, and there's no doubt about it that we're going to have to win some of these games to get to the playoffs because we are playing catch up. I don't think we can fall any further behind. So for that reason, Saturday's a big game, but I'm confident we can go there and get the right result if we get the performance that I know we're capable of.
Yeah, and one thing you do know now, if you do get into the playoffs, you'll be arriving on really good form, which will be handy. If you can get there, you'll be on a roll.
Yeah, I think any team that can get in there late on will be one that's in momentum. But we're just taking it a game at a time. But we're fully aware that Saturday's a big game, and the fact that we've just got to get the momentum going again. And this is why I look back at certain games, Gillingham at home. We feel we have to win that game to continue the momentum, knowing that we've got such hard games coming up. But no, I'm looking forward to Saturday. Be a good pitch, good atmosphere, as I mentioned, the stadium. And we've just got to make sure that we go there and get a good performance.
Yeah, and still the quandary really with the strikers. I know you spoke about it with Nick last week, but over the remainder of the season, cracking that and getting some goals is going to be really key.
Yep, I keep getting asked the same question, and we have to find a formula somehow. and we're still trying to do that. But it's important that I keep believing in my strikers, keep giving them the confidence, which I will do, and hopefully it just turns on its head and we start scoring goals again.
And another question we keep asking you about potential incomings. You mentioned on Tuesday something might happen with Jermaine Anderson as well. Does that play into your thinking, the fact that he's now out for the season?
Well, now he's out, ideally I'd like two in, but I think we're just concentrating on the one at the moment. We're hopeful it gets done before the weekend. If not, we just carry on trying. But we are trying. It's just getting the right deal put in place and getting the right player. But I think the way the season's going, there's certain areas of the pitch we need to strengthen.
With the player that you've got in mind, if it all came to fruition, would they be available to play on Saturday in terms of their fitness, ready to come straight in?
Yeah, without a shadow. Yeah.
In terms of your own injury problems, Joe Newell played on Tuesday night despite his ongoing groin issue. How's he?
He's fit. He'll be fine. Just trying to think who was missing on Tuesday. Madison, he should be fit. I think all my players are going to be fit.
Yeah, so it worked out well taking Joe off at that point then, because I guess that was part of the thinking, to make sure he was absolutely available for Saturday.
Well, that and the fact that I had Cosy on the bench, so it wasn't so much the fact that we were thinking towards Saturday, because I think there was still 20 odd minutes to go, so it wasn't so much that. I felt that bringing Cosy on and a bit of freshness on that side of the pitch would help, but no, I think it looks like everyone will be fit, so that's good.
With Marcus, would he be ready to come in for a start, or would it be more likely to be off the bench?
I've still got to make that decision. I don't think he'd be too rusty because he's done a lot of work. It's just my decision whether we go with him or we leave him on the bench. But we're pretty hopeful that he's going to be fit. I mean, I'm not saying he's 100%, but we're hopeful that he will be. All the rest will be absolutely fine.
How's Kyle Vassell getting on?
He'll be fit for Bradford. He's come along really well, and his recovery's been really good. He's healed very quickly. He's a young lad. We expected him to, but he's come back even quicker than we thought. But hopefully he'll just get through next week's training, do a full week with us, and then he'll be ready for Bradford on the 28th.
And I know Jack Baldwin obviously still quite a long way off, but how's he getting on? He
went and visited the specialist for his, I think it was his 3 months now he's done, so they just got some feedback on that. The ACL's healed completely now, so the structure's back in place. That was basically what the checkup was about, so that's good news. He's a good news. He's been in the gym again today, and we just got to make sure we keep him mentally challenged in the sense that he could get bored and things like that, and mix things up for him. Maybe give him a little bit of time off here and there, but structurally the knee is back in place.
That's good to hear. And with Nat Mendes-Lang obviously having made the move to Cambridge, he's out of contract in the summer. So is that likely to be the last that we see of him here?
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, obviously he needs to be getting games, doesn't he, for his career, for how he's going to progress?
Yeah, he's out of contract. It was well known to him that he wasn't going to be offered a new one, and he's gone out on loan, so it's till the season finishes, so he won't be back with us.
And I know you'd mentioned he was close to making a move towards the end of the transfer window. Is it Cambridge that he'd been in talks with for a little while?
No, well, I think Cambridge were interested. There was another club that wanted to speak to him. But listen, they're human beings. They make their own decisions. We've got to respect that. Also, it can be very annoying at times because you want to wheel and deal, but if they're under contract, they're under contract.